Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vance. So guys, in this tutorial I'll be teaching you how to make this basque waistline top with a double flay. Please, if this is the first time coming across my channel, please do well to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. So guys, this was the one I recreated, so it's so beautiful. I had to change the neckline because I really don't like round neck like that. So this is it. If you're interested in this tutorial, let's get right into it. So for this tutorial guys, I'll be making use of this beautiful crepe fabric. I have my scissors, my chalk, my pins and my tape for this tutorial. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this fabric so that I will start drafting the front part of our dress, of our top rather. So guys, as you always know, I folded my fabric into two just like this. I'm going ahead to know the number of the width of the fabric that I'm going to use and the length. So for the length, I'll be making use of 27. So I'll go ahead and cut out the 27 inches that I'll be using, so it will be much easier for me to draft our top. So I'll go ahead and rule out my starting line. After I was done, I'll mark my shoulder measurement, which is 14 divided by 2 gave me 7. From that 7 inches, I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I'll get my armhole measurement, which is your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. So I marked it out and I'll use my French curve or my ruler to trace out the line. So when I'm done guys, I'll repeat my shoulder measurement on my chest line because this new measurement is my chest line. So I'll mark up my 7 inches and I will connect it to the 1 inch shoulder slope I came down by. So for the neck width guys, I'll be making use of 3.5. So this for the neck depth, I'll be making use of 1.5 for the back because I'm drafting both front and back together. So for the front neck depth, I'll be making use of 3.5. So 3.5 by 3.5, and that's for the front. While for the back, I'll be making use of 3.5 by 1.5. So I'll go ahead and connect my neckline just the way you see me doing. So guys, when I'm done with this, I'll go ahead and connect my shoulder slope just like this. So after I'm done with this guys, the next thing I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and take my armhole. I'll divide my armhole by 2, which is 3.5, and I'll come in by 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and take my bust divided by 4, whatever I have, I'll mark it, and then I'll connect these 3 points together to give me my armhole curve. So guys, when I'm done connecting this, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my vertical measurement. My vertical measurement being my half length and the full length of our top. So guys, I'll go ahead and mark my half length, which is 18.5, but this is where my back line is going to start from, because I'll still go ahead and mark my original half length, which is 15.5. So after I'm done marking my 18.5, I'll mark my 15.5, just the way you see me doing guys. So when I'm done, I'll use my ruler to straighten the lines. So after I'm done straightening the lines guys, the next thing I'm going to do is I will go ahead and take my waist measurement. My waist measurement is 29.5, that's 29.5, divided by 4 will give me 7.3. So I'll mark it out there. I'll repeat the same 29.5 divided by 4 there, which is 7.3. I'll mark it, and then from that point now connect my lines to the end of the fabric. Remember, the length of my top is 27, so I'll connect the line straight to the length of the fabric, which is my full length. So when I'm done with this, I'll go ahead and connect my points together. Just watch what I'm doing carefully. This tutorial is actually an easy one. So when I'm done guys, I'll go ahead and add my allowances. Remember that I've not added my allowances, but before I do that, I'll check the difference between my two half lengths, which is 3 inches. So from your original half length, whatever it is, come down by 3 inches. So this is me marking out the allowances that I'll be using to join my top together. So I use 1 inch for my allowance. I will use my ruler to connect the points together. So when I'm done connecting guys, I'll go ahead and also connect my back waistline. So this is me connecting the point also to the full length of our top. So after I'm done with this, guys, this part I'm ruling out is the part that will not be needing, so I will not be cutting out this part. I'll go ahead and cut out. First of all, I'm cutting out the back first before I cut the front, because we drafted both the front and the back together. So when I'm done cutting, I'll set this aside. I'll fold my fabric again into two to draft out the back. So I place my first block on the new folded fabric. So I'm kind of arranging it so that it's going to align with my folded fabric. So when I'm done and I'm satisfied with the way it is, I'll go ahead and cut it out. So guys, I'm done cutting the back, so I'm going to separate the back and the front. I'll arrange the front very well, and then I'll go ahead and cut my neckline, and then I'll cut my armhole line. So when I'm done with this, guys, I'll open it up to give it my desired neckline. So for the neckline, I'll come down by 7.5 inches. I'll mark it out, and then I'll use my free hand to connect it down to the shoulder line. So when I'm done with this, guys, I'll use my French curve and now give it a V form. But actually do not want a V form. I'll be sewing it down with a U form, but I just used V for the meantime. So guys, I'll go ahead and cut out our neckline. So when I'm done cutting, guys, I'm going to flip it over for you to see how beautiful this neckline is. At this point, guys, if you've not subscribed to my channel, please do well to subscribe. Turn on the notification bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. And please do well to like my video, share, leave a comment in the comment section if you're confused at any point. So guys, at this point, I want to draft out the sleeve. So I folded my fabric into two again. So I'll go ahead and rule out my starting line. From there, guys, I will come down from my starting line by 4 inches. This is actually a simple regular sleeve. It's not that difficult. So I'll come down by 4 inches, and then I'll come down by 8 inches for my sleeve bisect. I'll come down by 13, 18, and then I'm going to go down by 22 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark it out, and then I'll take my round sleeve measurement. My first round sleeve measurement is 6.5, which is 13 divided by 2. I went ahead to add my allowance. My next round sleeve is 11 divided by 2. I marked it out. So I kept on marking out all the bisects of my sleeve measurement, and when I'm done marking it out with my allowances, I use 1 inch allowance for this sleeve. So when I'm done marking it out, I'll go ahead and give my armhole curve. So at this point, guys, I'm going to give my armhole a curve. So from this midpoint, that's from my starting line, I'll come in by 3 inches. I'll mark it, and then I'm going to connect it to get a perfect armhole. So this is how I actually connect my armhole. So when I'm done with this, guys, and I'm satisfied with how it looks, I'll go ahead and check my round sleeve if it's going to correspond with my armhole line. So this is it, it corresponds. I am satisfied with how it is. I'll go ahead and cut it out. So for the sleeve, I'll be cutting out 2 of these sleeves, but first of all, I had to cut out 1. Then I'll place my fabric into 2 and then cut out the rest. So this was when I was done cutting out the first one. I'll set it aside, fold my fabric again into 2, place it on top of the new folded fabric, and then I'll go ahead and cut out. So this was when I was done cutting. I have notched, I've marked out the wrong side. So for our flay, this part is the flay. So to get your first flay, you have to divide your round sleeve by 6.28. So whatever I divided, I got 9 in total. The length of my sleeve, I'll be using 8 inches, while my circumference is 1 inch. So in total is 9 inches. So I went ahead to mark my 9 inches there, and I picked it just the way you see me doing, and then I'm going to go ahead and flip it over. So both sides of our flay is on fold. So guys, I folded the flay. As I said earlier, I'll be using 9 inches for everything. So as you can see, I'm checking it to know if it's up to 9 inches or if it's less, but right now it's even more than 9 inches, and I'm okay with how it is. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do is to take the circumference of my flay, which is 1 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and mark my 1 inches round the tip of the flay, just the way you see me doing, and then I'll go ahead and mark the length of the flay. I'll be using 8 inches for the length of the flay, so I'm going to mark 8 inches round the fabric. So when I'm done with this, guys, I'm going to go ahead and cut. So I'm going to cut 4 pieces of this flay, two because it's a double flay, so the lengths are different. So the one on top is shorter than the one under. So I've gone ahead again to fold my fabric, that's to cut my belt. So for the width of the belt, I'll be using 2.5 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it straight down. I didn't measure how many lengths, I just used the whole fabric for my length. So I'm going to cut 2 of this belt. So I'm going to open up the first one I cut, and then I'll use it to trace out the remaining one on the fabric. So after I'm done cutting, guys, the next thing I'm going to do is to cut the facing for our top. So for the first facing, what I did was I opened up my fabric and then I placed it like this, and then I'll go ahead and cut it out. So this was when I was done arranging it. So this is me going ahead to cut out the facing for the front. So after I'm done cutting out the facing for the front, I didn't measure it anyways. You can measure your own if you want, but for me, I decided to just eyeball mine. So after I'm done with this cutting, I'll go ahead and also cut the back. So this was it when I was done with the front. I went ahead to fold for the back. So when I was done cutting for the back, I separated it, and then I had to face right side, facing right side. So I'll go ahead to my sewing machine to sew down the facing. So I face my facing to my fabric, right side facing right side. So I'll go ahead and sew it, and then I'll show you how it looks like. So as you can see, I've gone ahead to sew it down. So this is me notching the facing part so that I can be able to iron it. It's very important that you notch at this point so that while ironing, your ironing will go smoothly with the facing. So I've also I will do the same thing for the back too. So this is my back block. I've also sewn my facing, as you can see, and I will still go ahead and notch. So when I'm done notching, I'll go ahead and iron. So this is my belt. I've gone ahead to sew it down. Then when I was done ironing, guys, this is how it looks. Are you seeing? It looks all clean. This is also the front part when I was done ironing. So the next thing I'm going to do is to take the length at which my belt is going to sit. So my belt will be sitting at 16.5 inches. So I'll go ahead and fix my belt just the way you see me doing at 16.5 inches. Then for the down part of our backs, I came up by 1 inch. So you should also do the same thing. On the both side, I actually came up by 1 inch. Then I now placed my belt immediately after the 1 inch. I don't know if you get. So I'll go ahead and sew it down. Before I sew it down, guys, I'll place my front and back together, and I'll go and sew down shoulder to shoulder. So I'll go and sew it in my machine. So this was when I was done sewing the belt and the shoulder to shoulder. As you can see, our top is already coming out fine. So what I'm going to do next is to go to sew my sleeve. So this is my sleeve, guys. The notch point of my sleeve will be facing the middle part of my shoulder. So I'll go ahead and sew both sleeves together and show you how it looks like. So this was when I was done sewing my sleeves together, as you can see. So the next thing I'm going to do, guys, is to go and shape my sleeves down. So you can see how our top is coming out so well. So I'll flip it over like this and I'll sew it down by the 1 inch allowance that I left. So I'll take it to the sewing machine to sew it down, and I'll show you how it looks when I'm done sewing. So guys, for the flay part, I'll be turning the flay with a bias strip. So I'm going to introduce my bias strip just like this. I'll go ahead and sew it down, sew the bias down to my flay. I will do the bias sewing in all of the flays. So this was when I was done sewing the flay. As you can see, I've also gone ahead to iron it out. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew down my tops. I've hemmed every part, even the back part I've hemmed. So the next thing I'm going to do is to place my flay right side facing right side on each other. So the first step is going to go ahead and face the second step. So I'm going to put my sleeve inside of the hole of the flay. That's the circumference, just the way you see me doing, and I'll go ahead and sew it down. So this was when I was done sewing, guys. Our top is so fine. It's so lovely. It's giving. So guys, this was it when I was done. I'm done ironing, so I'm going to go ahead and wear the mannequin, so you're going to see how it looks. So guys, please do well to subscribe to my channel. This is the only way you can actually support me, support my channel. Like my videos, guys. Share, leave a comment in the comment section if you have any question that you need to ask me. And then guys, I'm going to see you in my next tutorial. Thank you guys for watching my video to the end. I'm going to see you in my next tutorial. Bye.